Good morning. Welcome to Creative Companions, where we're all believing mirrors for one another. It's 11 o'clock on the dot. 420. Happy 420. Happy everything. Happy Easter. Happy anniversary. Happy birthday. Happy day. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, 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 happy. Today we're going to be talking about Chapter 5 in The Artist's Way, recovering a sense of possibility. So let me know if you're here. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to show up while I get everything adjusted how I like it here. Starting right away, just taking some deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, just landing here in this now. I just realized I used my magic markers as a thing I'm holding my computer with. So I'm going to move it for a second until I get my markers out of here. So good morning. If you're just getting here, this is Creative Companions. We are going to be talking about recovering a sense of possibility while we continue to focus on our breath. As all is meditation, breathing in and out, deepening the breath as we go. If we're focused on our breathing, we're not focused on listening to old tapes in our heads, talking to ourselves. I really wanted to focus on it's so quiet in here. It's so peaceful in here. So wherever you are, once you have gathered your things, I have my markers now. And once you have your markers and your blank page, I have a big one. And you can settle into your seat. We're really going to practice the art of breathing and listening. Welcome home. Welcome to the now. We're just breathing in and out. So quiet here. So peaceful in here. So quiet in here. So peaceful in here. Just quieting the mind chatter, focusing on the breath, becoming comfortable in our seat, wherever we are. My back hurts a little sitting like that. Just breathing in and out. This is the artist's way. Just breathing into the day. Today we're on Chapter 5 of The Artist's Way, recovering a sense of possibility. It says one of the chief barriers to accepting God's generosity is our limited notion of what we are in fact able to accomplish. That's our limited notion. What we're talking about this week is that anything is possible and allowing it to be. For our art part of our meditation this week, we're going to use all the colors like we always do. I'm going to start with purple, and we're going to do dots. Let's just do the whole page today with dots. And anything is possible. You know, this is your individual, unique expression, what you do on the page. I'm going to turn my camera onto the page here for a second for you. I'm just going to start with purple. So the Artist's Way teaches us to write morning pages, and that's just 3 pages of brain drain. That's my self-care I've been doing for 31 years now, and I've already done that this morning. The second thing I do daily is a marker meditation where I am Continuing to focus on the breath and the silence all around, and the silence within. And Julia Cameron teaches us in The Artist's Way to keep our hand moving. So just I'm making dots in a spiral motion with purple first. And when I tire of using that color in my marker meditation, I'll switch to the next color in the rainbow. But I'm just gonna, and I don't show up with the notion that I know anything. The same as for these live feeds, you know. We're all just making it up as we go along, correct? We're all just a unique expression of the source, the one here expressing, you know. Be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with the movements of your hand as well as you make your mark. So recovering a sense of possibility. I wonder this week if you wrote in your journals, if you did your morning pages. I'd love to hear about that experience if you've been doing it and how that's working for you. We also take an artist date, which is an hour's time during the week there, some time to do something with your artist self that you love to do. I'm switching to blue now, and there is no right or wrong way to do that artist date. You might fly a kite or ride a bike or take a bath or laugh. I didn't officially take an artist date, I guess, this week, but I did get to spend time by myself doing things I love to do. Just painting in the sun was a great one, and that's how I spent my day yesterday. Not painting like making a painting, not trying to master. Here we go. We're not trying to create a masterpiece. We're here to master peace, right? So yesterday I was just painting with a roller on panels, 19 of them in the sun with a friend. And you notice as you continue to focus on the breath and on the art of listening, you hear the sounds closest to you and new ones farther away. And what do we say when always meditation? The sounds that we hear don't irritate us. They just bring us to higher awareness, which helps us relax more into the now, which is always the goal, right? So just keep relaxing into the now and making dots on your page. And we'll see what that blank page turns into by the end. Well, I don't know what that bling noise was. So most of us never consider how powerful the creative force really is. We're stingy with ourselves. I'm reading from The Artist's Way now. And if we receive a gift beyond our imagining, we often send it back. That's something to think about, huh? So we're forging, what we're talking about seems to be a conscious partnership in which we work alongside, slowly and gradually, clearing away the wreckage of our negative patterning, clarifying the vision of what it is we want, learning to accept small pieces of that vision from whatever source, and then one day, presto, the vision seems to suddenly be in place. In other words, pray to catch the bus and then run as fast as you can. If we learn to think of receiving good as being an act of worship and cooperation, we can begin to let go of having to sabotage ourselves. This is a quote from Eileen Caddy. Expect every need to be met. Expect the answer to every problem. Expect abundance on every level. Expect to grow. I like that. And that helps us to stop sabotaging ourselves. Remembering that energy flows, we become more able to tap our creative power effectively. By listening to the Creator within, we are led to our right path and meaningful work. Breathing in and out, I'm going to switch to green and make some more dots and practice the art of breathing and listening. round and round and round we go. I'm just doing a spiral with my dots. And if you think about every creative expression that you show up to do as growth and work on you, progress, I don't even like to call it work. It's a stimulating challenge to show up to do the work of being me daily, you know, consistently. So we listen. One way we listen is by writing our morning pages. At night, before we fall asleep, we can list areas in which we need guidance. And then in the morning, we could write on these same topics. And we find ourselves seeing previously unseen avenues of approach. Experiment with this two-step process. Ask for the answers in the evening. Listen for the answers in the morning. Be open to all help. I'm on yellow now. Oh, I heard the word inspired. Just listening. The birds are singing and the sun is shining. Breathing in and out. People are moving around. And we can remain calm even in the midst of the chaos or whatever. I love it. Just a snippet of a conversation going by. I don't know if you all could hear it or not, but significant, you know? Speak kindly is a message I keep hearing. So next Julia's going to talk about finding the river, and you know that thrills me because, you know, she said river, and that's my granddaughter's names. Oh, I see some comments. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Hi, guys. Yeah, I'm so glad you're all here. Shakula, how's the rhythm? Right? Everybody's, you know, let's hold our hearts for a second, hold each other and ourselves. So dear, so dear. We have seen how, I'm reading to y'all again. We've seen how often we think negatively and fearfully, and how frightening it has been for us to begin to believe that there might be a right place for us that we could attain by listening to the creative voice and following its guidance. We have begun to hope, and we've feared that hope. The shift is gradual. It's okay. We have been making this shift slowly and surely. With each day, we become more true to ourselves, more open to the good. To our surprise, this seems to be working in our human relationships. Oh, this is big. We find we are more able to tell more of our truth. We find we are able to tell more of our truth and hear more of other people's truth, and encompass a far more kindly attitude towards both. Kindly attitude towards both. We are becoming less judgmental of ourselves and others. How is that possible? The morning pages, a stream of consciousness, gradually loosens our hold on fixed opinions and short-sighted views. We see that our moods, views, and insights are transitory, and we acquire a sense of movement, a current of change in our lives. This current, this river, is a flow of grace, moving us to our right livelihood, companions, and destiny. Dependence on the Creator within is really freedom from all other dependencies. And I thought this week, when we are activating the Creator within, and in process, in that creative process, it indeed is the antidote for all other dependencies, because you're not smoking a cigarette, you're not drinking, you're not staring at the screen, you are submerged in I like that word, not obsessed. People have said, what do you have, Kim? OCD? Look at your art. No, I'm submerged in the creative process, which is keeping me submerged in the now. I can feel the sun on my back. I can see every little orange circle I'm making, and I hope you can too. I can't see my screen real good because of how the sun is, but I don't know exactly what you're seeing there. Oh, it looks like I might have it in a good spot. So I'm going around the yellow dots I made with the orange because the yellow didn't show up good. You know, and you just never know what's coming next in your art. You just sit down and do what? Breathe and get into the flow. Okay, I'll read something, what I just see that I've underlined here about flow. Recovery is the process of finding the river and saying yes to its flow, rapids and all. We startle ourselves by saying yes instead of no to opportunities. As we begin to pry ourselves loose from our old self-concepts, we find that our new emerging self may enjoy all sorts of adventures. You know, at any age, you find out things are new about you. By holding lightly to an attitude of gentle exploration, we can begin to lean into creative expansion. I'm going to gently explore this new creative avenue of, for me, like my newest creative outlet has been the glass art, you know, so I come at it with an attitude of gentle exploration, but I get to hit glass with a hammer. And then I lean into creative expansion, and I get to see that as my skills sets grow. And the only way you can do that is showing up for yourself and being consistent. So this newly positive attitude is the beginning of trust. We're starting to look for the silver lining in what appears to be adversity. Most of us find that as we work with the morning pages, we begin to treat ourselves more gently, feeling less desperate. We are less harsh with ourselves and with others. This compassion is one of the first fruits of aligning our creativity with its creator. In short, we're learning to give up idolatry, the worshipful dependency on any person, place, or thing, and instead we are depending on the source itself, which meets our needs through people, places, and things. Unexpected doors will open. One of the central tasks of creative recovery is learning to accept this generosity. An artist must have downtime, time to do nothing, time to sit here with your markers, you know, time to just breathe and feel the sun, hear those birds chirping. Practice the art of just being here now for your fine self, with your fine self. Thank you for being here now with us. You know, bravo, bravo, yes. Yeah, we got to keep believing in the good things coming. We got to keep believing that anything's possible. We got to keep believing in the voice that's in our heart that's telling us that we know what's true. Right? Many recovering creatives sabotage themselves most frequently by playing nice. There's a tremendous cost to such virtue. Many of us have made virtue out of deprivation. We have embraced a long-suffering artistic anorexia as a martyr's cross. We have used it to feed false sense of spirituality grounded in being good, meaning superior. We strive to be good, to be nice, to be helpful, to be unselfish. We want to be generous, of service, of the world. But what we really want is to be left alone. I'm reading. When we can't get others to leave us alone, we eventually abandon ourselves. Hi. You see that? That bee just came and, you know. Brought me back to the present moment for a second. You know, that's what I said recently. That abandonment wound is huge. And now the goal is not to abandon myself, to stay here now. You know? Our true self has gone to ground sometimes. And what is left is a shell of ourself. You know, Chalk Outline. If you haven't heard that song, check it out. Chalk Outline. You know, we don't want anybody to be having an out-of-body experience. We don't want to be walking around a chalk outline. We want to be here now with ourselves. A clinician might call it disassociating, leaving the scene of the crime, checking out. You know, how often do we do that? Are we aware that we do that? Are you breathing? Take a deep breath. Take another one. Become very aware of the here now. Beware for a moment of the places where your body is touching the earth, where your feet are touching the ground, where your butt is touching the ground. In my case, I'm sitting down. The question is, are you self-destructive? Are you destructive of yourself? Are you destructive of your true nature? Are you not allowing yourself to be? These are hard questions. The false self is always patient, always willing to defer its needs to meet the demands of another. Ooh. I'm reading again. These are not my words. Julia wrote them down. Virtuous to a fault, these trapped creatives have destroyed the true self, the self that didn't meet with such approval as a child, the self who heard repeatedly, "Don't be selfish." The true self is a disturbing character, healthy and occasionally anarchistic, who knows how to play, how to say no to others and yes to itself. So are you self-destructive? Do you appear self-destructive? The question is not, are you nice to other people? You know, continue to be nice to people. But what are you doing to yourself? Are you aware of your needs? And what would you do if you weren't selfish? So, are you self-destructive is the question. What would I try if it didn't sound too crazy? And once upon a time I wrote living full-time in an RV. Well, I did that. You know, I've used this book many times so I can look back at things I wrote years ago. I hope you're still making dots on your page. You know, I got way away from my creative part of this process. Hi, bee. Bee buzzing. When the bee buzzes close by, it reminds me to be grateful for the fact that I can hear and that there are still bees. And that once upon a time I knew someone named Jody, and I feel like she shows up as bees in yellow. And the reminding me that we can hear. Jody was quite deaf. So when a bee gets really close to my ear, I feel like it's like zzz, I can hear everything now. All right, let's go back to talking about this virtue trap. What would I do if it weren't too selfish? By seeking the creator within and embracing our own gift of creativity, we learn to be spiritual in this world, to trust that God is good, and so are we, and so is all of creation. In this way, we avoid the virtue trap. Then she asked us a virtue trap quiz. Questions like this. There's 10 of them. The biggest lack in my life is... The greatest joy in my life is... My largest time commitment is... As I play more... That bird sounds great. Reminded me to breathe. I see a hawk over there, but that's not the hawk who's making that noise. So yeah, there's 10 questions there and fill in the blanks. Next, let's move on. Here's another good question is about that. Are you self-destructive? Does your life serve you or only others? And I said yesterday, oh, I'm not everybody's mother. I used to think I wanted to be, and no, I don't. Oh, hi, Catfish. Happy Easter. Happy They're happy, happy, joy, joy, happy wherever you are, happy whatever you're doing. Could you just take a breath and feel happy wherever you are? If you need to put your nose on to feel happy, put your nose on, which says to me, I'm going to put the orange marker down here in a second, move on to red. I can show you what I have going on my dots. I don't know how well you can see that. But, so forbidden joys is the next exercise. One of the favorite tricks of block creatives is saying no to ourselves. It's astonishing the number of small ways we discover to be mean and miserly with ourselves. So as an exercise, list 10 things that you would love to do, but you don't feel like you can do. She says not allowed to do. And I didn't even do that list. Maybe I didn't even feel allowed to make a list of things that I'm not allowed to do. Interesting. So very often, she says, very often the mere act of writing out your list of forbidden joys breaks down your barriers to doing them. So I'm going to go back and write that list. Next, she had a wish list. So one of the best ways we can evade our censor is to use the technique of speed writing. Because wishes are just wishes. They're allowed to be frivolous and frequently should be taken very seriously. So as quickly as you can, write down, she has 19 here, I wish blank, I wish blank, I wish blank. I'm going to look back at my oldest one, which would have been written at least 30 years ago. Let's see if I've done any of them. Wish I could start having shows. I did that. Wish I could have a garden. Did that. Some of them I'm going to skip because they're too personal and I don't want you to know. And remember, this Artist Way journaling and journeying is not for anybody else to know. That's all for you. Occasionally might read you something from my journal, but remember, I've been journaling for a really long time. So if it's new for you, really, that's between you and you. The morning pages are not to be shared. I'm glad your nose is on. I just saw that. So I wish I would never smoke cigarettes again. I did that. Now, I wrote that 30 years ago, and I only quit smoking cigarettes 5 years ago. So it took a long time for that one. I wish I'd lose 20 pounds. I did that. I wish I had a better relationship. I did that. I have Vern now. I wish I'd be off pharmaceutical meds. I am. Hallelujah. I wish I was more healthy. More healthy. Yeah, okay. I feel I'm more healthy. I wish I wasn't afraid was the one I wrote. And I'm still working on that, you know. Lately I've been terrified, but there's a lot of reasons to be, and I don't like that. We don't need to talk about them right now. And I just want to say on that note, it is important to keep playing and to keep entertaining happy and entertaining joy and putting that out to the world and to the people. And one of my very quotes from a friend I used to know was, remember, the friendlier you are to the world, the friendlier the world is to you. And I want to add to that, remember that we're all just mirrors for one another. So the more we can put out that joy vibration, the more that joy vibration comes back to us. And I guess I'm still talking about the topic, recovering a sense of possibility. So there's tasks at the end of the chapter, as always. I, once again, did not do any of those this time, or even read them. So let's see what they say. Start an image file. Now that's fun, you know, and I've seen that practice work. Just collecting images that you like, of things that you might like to do, dreams you have. Put them in a binder. Look back years later, see if they came true. Just making my stars here. And then I'm going to put the focus back on the breath, breathing in and out and knowing that we're here now and all is well. How can I say all is well with everything that's going on in the world? Well, all is well in this moment, here now, present moment, sacred moment. All is well. We're just breathing. That's really all you really have to do to get through the day. Breathe in and out. Hydrate. I didn't bring water with me today, but I'll hydrate right after we're done here. I'm going to go to red now because that was the end of the orange. I'm awkwardly trying to make sure that you can see my hand moving. I'm going to make my red nose. That doesn't really look red. It looks more purple. But that's okay. Oh no, it does. It was just a shadow. So always dealing with that shadow self, and showing up at the page daily and giving yourself time and space to be and to write and to say exactly what you want to say. There's a place where you have freedom, is in your morning pages. To write and say whatever you want. So because we're just really entertaining happy today, and a sense of possibility, to entertain that sense of possibility, it helps. Joy helps, surrounded in joy, let's say that. So I'm just turning the center of my dots here now. Be impeccable with your words. Here now, I heard myself say. And here now into a clown. We're only here clowning around. You're seeing my clown upside down, but I will turn her around for you. And we never have a clue. What we're going to do is keep your intentions good and know that anything is possible. Peace is possible. Love is possible. Now, right now. You can only love now, so do it now. You can only be here now, so be here now. Take a deep breath. Turn your clown upside down, Turn your frown upside down. Let's just be happy for today. And if we can do that today and just be happy today, then maybe tomorrow we could be happy too. And then maybe the sad just goes away. And then maybe you could be happy every day. Or at least for a while. Take a deep breath wherever you are. Know that you're just a shooting star. We're all just passing through. And you could continue on this piece of art that we're creating today, as long as you like. And when you're done, sign it and date it, as will I. Honor your artist self again this week. Post your art for me if you would when you're done. Did I say a little poem? Yeah, I usually do. A lot of times it turns into rhymes. So let's see. Recognize what your creative blocks are. Honor your child self. Respect. I have a quote here by Stella Terrell Mann. Stella says, "To accept the responsibility of being a child of God is to accept the best that life has to offer you. Remember, treating yourself as a precious object makes it so." And next week we get to read about recovering a sense of abundance. Recovering a sense of abundance. My next event, by the way, is going to be Hope Fest. And last year at Hope Fest we did the Abundance with Fungi Flows. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, go check out Fungi Flows and Hope Farm and Hope Fest, and good people doing good things for good people, for all people. We're all good people here. Take a deep breath. Gratitude. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me and being here, and I will post in the comments if you want to ever support me monetarily. I do have Cash App, $Art by Kim Keffer on Cash App, and PayPal, kimsphotoart at AOL.com. But I'll put them in the I'll put the links in the comments. I think I know how to do that. And if we could share our art that we created today, if you created some, you can always watch this video later. You can share it with your friends. Also, all of the videos from my lives end up on YouTube the next day, and the YouTube channel is Art by Kim Keffer on YouTube. Peace. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, keep showing up for yourself. I love you. We can do this. And I will see you next week. Thank you for being here with me. Let's take some deep breaths and just listen to the silence inside. Peace and joy live within and are always available. Just take a pause, take a breath. Have a great week. I'll see you next week. Can't find my cursor because I'm in the sun. Love you, everyone. That's funny. I can't see to end live video. So funny. You guys, I can't see my cursor at all.